You're listening to Brain Lenses. I'm Colin Wright. A headache is a pain that is experienced in one's head, neck, or face, and it's often a symptom of some other issue, like dehydration or stress. That said, there are more than 200 types of headache, and while tension headaches are the most common, with more than a fifth of the global human population suffering from them in a given year, a little more than a tenth of all people suffer migraines, which tend to be substantially more painful and life-disrupting. Some headaches are signals from our bodies that we need to do something, like drink water or look away from our screens, while others are indications that something is very wrong. Maybe we have an infection, or perhaps we have suffered a head injury. Headaches can be classified into primary and secondary categories, with primary being recurrent and usually benign. Stress headaches and migraines fall into this category, as while they're not pleasant and can even become excruciating at their upper limits, they are not indicative of a different underlying health problem. Secondary headaches, in contrast, point at something else that's wrong, like an injury, infection, cancer, vascular disorder, and even some types of gastrointestinal disorder like IBS or celiac disease. 90% of all headaches fall into the primary, recurrent, and benign category, and the vast majority of those are related to tension and become more common and prominent from our 20s onward. A late 2025 study looked at data from 1990 to 2023 to determine the prevalence of headache-related disorders and to estimate the cumulative time spent in pain and what kind of health burden this creates for different groups of people in terms of agony, distraction, pain-related depression, etc. The researchers' findings were many, but among them is that women suffer more and more intense headaches than men on average. They suffer about twice as many activity-impacting headaches, and their headaches tend to be longer-lasting as well. Interestingly, they also found that so-called medication overuse headaches, secondary headaches that occur after primary headaches as a consequence of using too much medication to handle the initial ones, and which are often more painful than those that preceded them, account for more than a fifth of all headache-related disabilities. Medication overuse headaches are slightly more common in men than women, but this research suggests that if the subgroup of people who heavily medicate lesser headaches were to stop doing so, handling them by hydrating or relieving stress instead, about 20% of the world's headache burden would be eased, which is a surprising statistic, but given the discomfort of headaches and the ease with which they can be medicated away in the modern world, is not necessarily the simple solution it might seem to be. I'm able to present Brain Lenses in both its written and audio formats ad-free because of support from listeners like you. If you're enjoying what I'm doing here, consider becoming a paid supporter for the cost of a cup of coffee each month at brainlenses.com.